from a filing like this, the big thing that we don't know is how much does General Motors think it's worth right now. I mean, what people really want to know is, this is how the government's going to get back most of its money. The Treasury owns 67%. So to know how much of the money that Treasury has invested in GM that we're going to get back, we have to know how much that stock is worth. And we don't know that at this time. We're not going to find that out until later this year when GM announces the actual IPO and the actual price and how many shares they're going to put on the market. And Treasury is going to put a chunk of their shares on the market at that time, too. But you have to bear in mind that even that doesn't tell the whole story, because, of course, Treasury is not going to sell all their shares all at once. That would just flood the market with GM shares and drive the price down. They're going to sell their shares slowly over time, and that price is going to change. And obviously, GM and Treasury are hoping the price just goes up after that initial filing, and those shares are worth more later on than they will be initially when they're put on the market. Right now, the government still is owed like $50 billion that's basically sunk into 62% of GM stock. So they need to get back quite a bit of money in order for this to work. So GM has reportedly said that it wants to make $16.5 billion just off the IPO itself, actual money from investors. That's the reported number. That would make it, I think, the second biggest stock offering or IPO in history. Now, for the government to get back what it needs, GM needs to be worth somewhere around $67 billion, all told, all together, for the government to get back the money that it's sunk. That would make GM a very, very successful company. I mean, Ford Motor Company right now, which is the darling of the auto industry at the moment, isn't worth that much. GM, arguably, people say, could well be worth more than Ford, because even though Ford looks like it's in great shape and doing really well, GM's still in recovery, but GM's got a much bigger international operation than Ford does. It is far from beyond reason to think that GM could be worth enough for the government to make back the money that it has put into this company.